Question: is this Switch OLED powered off, or is it showing a black screen? Whoa, trippy, right? Yep, you can hardly tell a difference, if at all. Why? Because that is how deep the black levels are on this thing. The Switch OLED makes gaming in handheld mode better than ever thanks to the new screen and enhanced speakers. But how exactly do the visuals and audio compare to the normal Switch? Also, how does the newer tech impact the OLED's battery life, if at all? We are going to compare all these things on a new normal Switch versus a new OLED Switch. Now keep in mind our normal Switch is one of the version 2 models that replaced the launch model in 2019 with a better battery life. But both Switches in this comparison are new and barely used. So, let's check them out. Starting with sound. We wanted to compare both how loud each system can get and the quality of the sound itself. So we placed both Switches at an equal distance from our microphone and booted up Sonic Colors, with both volume levels set to full blast. We also placed a decibel meter app next to them to help gauge how loud each system's speakers could get. Now I'm sure this app is super reliable, but we also used a sound software on our computer as a backup. From what we gathered, the volume levels were mostly the same. The OLED might have been a bit louder at a few points, but the difference is so small that you likely wouldn't notice in real life, at least if you weren't listening for it. So the volume output might be mostly similar, but what about the sound quality? Well, you take a listen for yourself, but we certainly hear a difference. The normal Switch has a slightly muffled and distant sound to it, whereas the Switch OLED to us sounds closer and richer. The difference might be hard to notice, and this recording is by no means an accurate representation of how they sound in real life, but regardless, the improvement is there. It's not the biggest selling point of the Switch OLED, but the enhanced audio clarity is certainly a nice, if barely noticeable, upgrade. Next, the visuals. It's clear the new screen has far more vibrant colors and deeper black levels, but just see how the two compare side by side. The normal Switch definitely doesn't have the best contrast, but that's something that even I have never really noticed in handheld mode. But looking at the OLED, it's clear how much better the contrast and colors are. On the OLED, the blacks are so deep and rich that they are literally as dark as the screen itself when it's powered off. On the normal Switch, however, that is not the case, as even the darkest of blacks are still nowhere near as dark as the bezel around the screen, which is always visible and there to remind you just how much space it takes up. It's pretty incredible how much its absence on the OLED really does enlarge the screen. We especially notice the improved contrast in Metroid Dread, where the dark and moody environments feel especially atmospheric thanks to the deep shadows. I mean, just look at the entire bottom right corner of this screen, where the dark walls seem to stretch all the way to the right Joy-Con. Nope, the edge of the screen is actually along here, but you could never tell because the blacks blend perfectly. And if we want to talk about the more vibrant colors, just look at Cruise and Blast. The vibrance is unmatched compared to the normal Switch. The OLED screen is definitely an improvement, and it's no secret why they chose to literally name this new model after it. Lastly, we tested the battery life on each system, standing near the cliff's edge in Breath of the Wild right outside the Shrine of Resurrection. In both cases, the batteries of course started at 100%, screen brightness and sound were both on max, airplane mode was turned on, and auto brightness was turned off. So the normal Switch lasted 4 hours and 42 minutes, and the Switch OLED lasted about 4 hours and 50 minutes. So the Switch OLED lasted about 8 minutes longer, which isn't much of a big difference, and the results will likely vary depending on the game. And with that, there you have it, screen, sound, and battery comparisons of the normal Switch model versus the OLED Switch. Let us know your thoughts down below, and subscribe to GameXplain for more on the Switch OLED and other things gaming too. Check out the videos on the right for more content you might be interested in, and until next time, bye!